This information, we request the Senate to take judicial notice of the information contained in an IPPD number. Who else can access that information within a county government setup? Payroll staff in the county government, county assembly can definitely access the payroll number for the MCS. The persons who created this system, the IT administrator, and the evidence has been laid here, clear, express, and unequivocal, that a link was sent to the administrator of this system. So he also had access to this system. The other persons who had access to this system are any person then who had mischief. Any person who had mischief will then access this system because it's data that is easily available. So that concern, we are saying, is an important aspect which you need to consider when making your decision on the question of threshold, which is a requirement of Section 33, Paragraph 2 of the County Government Act. Because the meat of this matter, the substance of this matter, the question that is before the Senate for determination is whether 33 MCS actually voted. Secondly, whether the 33 MCS met the constitutional threshold. Thirdly, whether the 3 MCS who claim that they did not vote, but someone voted for them, whether that evidence is credible, and if that is accepted by the Senate, then it affects the threshold. It affects the threshold. It means then there is no proper motion before the House, and on that basis, based on the legal doctrine that the law matters, that county assembly as a house is also governed by the law. We can do what we want, yes, but we must follow the law. We are all servants of the law. It is the law that drives everything that we do, including proceedings that are conducted at the county assembly. So that in this case, the Senate has a duty and an obligation to verify the authenticity of the 3 votes, because they will bring down the threshold, and then it means, and based on the ruling which was issued by the Speaker yesterday, that when voting on that question, if you believe that the 3 MCS, including Honorable Trump, did not vote, and remember, these MCS have come to the House. They have come here and told you by their word of mouth that I, Honorable so-and-so, I did not vote on this motion. And there are 3 of them. And their testimony is consistent with what transpired in the House. The question that you'll be left with is, do you believe these MCS who said that they did not vote so that you can make a decision on the threshold? Or do you believe a computer-generated information which has so many doubts to the extent that the entire House is asking questions? The question which this House is asking, and which all the senators I've observed are asking, is really fundamental. We cannot put this down there. We are not downplaying the allegations against the governor. We have responded to them. But what we are saying is that, did these 3 MCAs vote? What does the evidence tell us? Let's look at the evidence. Where is the evidence? If you look at, Mr. Speaker, the evidence is contained in Volume 4A. Evidence has been laid here by experts, all of them, that when you vote using a gadget such as a computer, which is internet enabled, when you vote using a laptop or a tablet or a desktop, there are unique codes that identifies that gadget in the system. This code is known as the MAC address. When you sign into the Wi-Fi, using that gadget, it will leave a digital fingerprint, a digital print, digital evidence on that system for purposes of anyone who then audits that system, checking and ascertaining that MCA A, B, C voted in that system. So that is a fundamental question that we must always ask ourselves when we are determining that preliminary, voting on the preliminary objection. Is there information before this House? Mr. Speaker, sir, when I asked the government ICT expert a question, deliberate question, it is because of that. Because yesterday we were with this ICT officer. We were raising concerns about various things. One, whether the ICT officer from the ICT authorities can be able to comprehensively answer all the questions with the information which they have. We asked the question which was asked by a senator here, whether they can be able to hack into the, do a soft hack. It's called a soft intrusion, whether they can be able to hack into the system to verify the identity of the MAC addresses, to get those logs. We asked that question, and then the ICT officer walked out for 2 hours, and then came back. So we were appreciably apprehensive. What did this ICT officer go out to do for 2 hours, from between 2:30 p.m. and 4:30, after the speaker had issued directions that we need to be there and ensure that this audit is done and it's a time-bound activity? Why would he do that? So we were appreciably apprehensive. When the ICT officer came back, and if you look at the report which he has submitted, he did not want to explain. His approach was that yes or no. The speaker has said, is it verifiable or not? Then he said, I will respond to the question the way I want, yes or no. That's what happened. That's what happened, yes or no. That's why if you look at the report of the ICT officer, and we see, if you look at the report, it does not contain the information which we asked him to put on the report, which this Senate has been raising this afternoon. That evidence of the MAC addresses. We told him, and he has confirmed here, we told him, why can't you simply say in your report that for you to verify that MCA A, B, C, and D voted, you need their MAC addresses of the gadgets which they used, and these MAC addresses are in the system. And then he told us orally that this MAC addresses, yes, you need them, but I will not put them in the report. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is the context in which the governor's side said, then we cannot sign this report. Even though they participated in the report generation, they were there when the logs were being extracted, the logs which are in the report. Those logs, same logs are in the county assembly document, and these logs will tell you only one side of the story. They will tell you only one side of the coin. Only one side of the coin. And it does not answer the question which is before the Senate. Which is this side of the coin? That 33 MCAs voted. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say here, as part of our submissions, in a very, very clear and succinct manner. Indeed, we have looked at the evidence submitted by the county assembly, the data generated from the system, by the county assembly, and as extracted by this, by the expert speaker, the expert witness, and the expert witness also of the governor. And there is information that 33 MCS actually voted for this motion. There is information that 33 MCS voted for this motion. It is there. It's there in page 4A. But the fundamental question, because the governor's team is saying, so and so did not vote for this motion. And there are 3 of them. So the question then that begs the answer, which all the experts have not answered to now, which leaves doubt in the minds of everyone, including myself as a lawyer. Where can you, with certainty, tell us that this MCA, that MCA for this particular ward used this gadget to vote? Because then that will weed out. It will weed out and completely foreclose, Mr. Speaker, sir, the statement, the oral evidence which has been made by these MCAs. Because these 3 MCAs are saying, I did not vote. I, Honorable so-and-so, I did not vote for this motion. I did not vote. Mr. Speaker, sir, that statement is extremely weighty for purposes of the proceedings in this House. Therefore, we ought to have gotten from the system logs of all the MAC addresses of the gadgets which access this system from the county assembly. To leave that doubt, to leave that question clear to the minds of everyone. Mr. Speaker, sir, additionally, yesterday there was evidence which was led that some MCAs could not vote using their gadgets, their telephone numbers. Their telephone numbers. Sorry, their mobile phones. So what happened is that the clerk, the speaker asked them to be assisted to vote using a machine, laptop or desktop, but it was a computer. That evidence will be there to be analyzed. The MAC addresses for that system. The ICT officer from the government says that that evidence ought to be in the system. We consistently asked him this question deliberately because we want that question to be fully answered. Where are these MAC addresses? So, honorable senators, as you retire to consider this, the question of threshold, just know that there is now doubt more than ever. Experts have come to the Senate, and there is doubt from all of them on the existence of these MAC addresses. Instead, Mr. Speaker, sir, and Mr. Speaker, sir, this is really interesting. Instead, they say, especially the expert from government says, that what we have as evidence are the IP addresses. The experts who, including himself, say that for it to be complete, you need to have both the MAC addresses and the IP addresses. The IP addresses is, what did he say, Mr. Speaker, sir, when he was testifying here? He said that the IP addresses are the gateways, the gateway IP addresses. They cannot tell, it tells you who accessed a particular Wi-Fi, which was being used by the MCAs in that area. It does not tell you the MAC addresses of the specific telephones that were used. So that is very, very significant. So to complete that argument and to leave no doubt whatsoever, if you look at volume 4A, and here, Mr. Speaker, allow me to just address a couple of issues on volume 4A. That is at page, the IP addresses which were produced. And the experts say that this is not conclusive. You will need additional information. At page 29, 31, 32, 33, of volume 4A. The Honorable Senator Asige, I don't know whether she's here, probably listening to where she is, asked an extremely important question, Mr. Speaker, sir, which affects the aspect of verifiability. Verifiability. Even on these IP addresses, we have left the issue of the MAC address, of the MAC addresses. Let's look at these IP addresses. I listened to the Honorable Senator Asige asking that question, and I said, maybe that is the real issue that the Senate also need to inquire about. What was the issue? How many Wi-Fi? They say that if you have a gadget and you access the system, you will use a Wi-Fi. That's what they said, Mr. Speaker, sir. Is that right? Yes. They say that then 9 MCAs can have the same IP addresses because they access the same Wi-Fi. Again, that's what they said. I'm not picking this from there. Statements from the word of mouth. So the question is, if you look at these 33 IP addresses at page 29, page 32, page 29, 30, 31, 32. Mr. Speaker, sir, look at these IP addresses. Are these IP addresses the same? Mr. Speaker, sir, there are some which are the same. And this was pointed out. There's an IP address which features really prominently. It appears 9 times. This is 41, 139, 37.129. This IP address appears 9 times. 9 times. The ICT experts who appeared here say that it's also possible to do a geographical search of these IP addresses, but there is no evidence in the Senate that a geographical search of these IP addresses was done on the aspect of verifiability. But this IP address appears 9 times. So what does it mean? That somebody accessed, they accessed a particular Wi-Fi 9 times. But Mr. Speaker, sir, if you look at these logs, you will see that there are many other IP addresses. So the question is, why are these IP addresses different if you are all within the county assembly premises, the house? You are accessing the same Wi-Fi network. And they say that if you access the same Wi-Fi network, then you need to have the same IP address. So the question is, why are these IP addresses different, Mr. Speaker, sir? Is it possible that the Kericho County Assembly has 6 Wi-Fi routers? Because when I counted, I saw. And Mr. Speaker, you can count for yourself the different IP addresses that appear in this document. And that was the query which was raised by the distinguished Honorable Asige. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, we submit that we have a very big problem before this House. The problem is that there is no certainty whatsoever based on the testimony of the 3 expert witnesses on who actually voted. Their votes are there, but who actually voted? Instead, Mr. Speaker, sir, the possibility is that somebody may have accessed this publicly available data and voted for anyone else. And that is the information which, that is the evidence that is before the House. And because of time, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to then conclude by saying that based on the provisions of Article 10.2 of the Constitution, the system which was deployed by the County Assembly on this vote, Mr. Speaker, sir, on an important matter concerning the removal of a governor from office. That system is not transparent, it is not verifiable, and therefore the results from that system are not verifiable. And on that basis, Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge I urge the honorable senators, Mr. Speaker, sir, that you allow our preliminary objection and throw this issue back for where it came from, because it does not meet the constitutional threshold as required by Section 33(2) of the County Government Act. I yield the floor to my colleague.